Very good morning, dear children. Dear children, we have already started our discuss the story of Mr. and Mrs. Shinde and Shanti. Fine, and we saw that how the case was shown in front of the judge, and at last how Shanti was released from the court. After that, children, we have just gone through the key players of a criminal justice system. Who are the main persons who are performing their duties in it? It was the police, public prosecutor, defense lawyer, and the judge. Then, children, see, after that we saw the role of police in investigating a crime. We have already discussed this, and then we saw what article 22 says regarding this. Fine. And then what are the DK Basu guidelines? And after that, children, we have gone through the FIR, that is your first information report. Today we are going to discuss what is the role of a public prosecutor. Fine. Now, children, see, dekho, what we say, a criminal offense, it is said that it is wrong for the public, it is wrong for the society. So what does it mean? It is considered to have been committed not only against the affected victim, but it is considered against the society or as a whole. Fine. And you might be remembering the dowry, that case which we have read in the previous chapter of Sudha. Fine. So the case was said, Lakshman was accused and his family were the one who's accused. But how it was presented by the state? The case was named as the state versus Lakshman Kumar and others. Similarly, this case was known as the state versus Shanti Hembram. And it's not that the case was was between Mr. and Mrs. Shinde. No, it was the state and this Shanti Hembram. Fine. In court, it is the public prosecutor. Now it is who is going to represent the interest of the state. It is the public prosecutor. He is going to speak on behalf of the state, on the behalf of the society. Fine. Now, what is the role? What is the role of a public prosecutor? When his role starts? His role starts when the police conducted the investigation and police has written the charge sheet. Fine. Then only the work of the public prosecutor starts. Now, he or she has no role to play with the investigation. It is the police who is going to do the investigation. Public prosecutor has nothing to do with the investigation. He is just conducting the prosecution on behalf of the state. He is acting on the behalf of the state, on the behalf of the society, because this criminal case is thought to be a crime against the society. Fine. And as an officer of court, he is the officer from the court, so his duty is to act impartially. He cannot be partial, or he cannot favor anyone. He should be presenting the full facts, full material, whatever he has. He should be showing all the witnesses, all the evidences in front of the court. Fine. And he should help the court to decide this by providing all these things. Fine. So this was the role of a public prosecutor. Now next comes the role of a judge, children. What is the role of the judge? See, judge is just like an umpire, as you see umpire in the cricket match or any other game. Fine. So what is the role of the umpire? He is just going to end up the is going to judge the match properly. Fine. So here this judge, he also has to act impartially. He also cannot favor anyone. Fine, and he has to do everything in the open court. Fine, he is going to hear all the witnesses, he is going to go through all the evidences, whatever prosecution is saying, whatever defense lawyer is saying, he had to listen. And ultimately, he had to decide whether the person who has been accused is guilty or innocent or what. And he is just going to give this judgment on the basis of the evidences presented to him. Fine. You can't say that he should be, favoring anyone. He has to go through all the evidences, and then only he is going to give the judgment. And if he founds that yes, the person, he is the one who is who is at guilt, so he can give them whatever punishment according to the constitution. Fine, or he can send him or her to jail or fine or both, depending on the law. Whatever law says, according to that he is going to act. Now children, the last topic of the chapter, what is a fair trial? We are talking about fair trial. Fair trial means that every person should go through a same procedure. Fine, whether the person has done the crime, whether the person has not done the crime, but it's the law says that every person has to follow a particular procedure. Fine. Now if we see Shanti's case, what would happen children if the police hasn't given her the charge sheet? What would have seen if the all the things, trial would be held at a secret location and Shanti was not aware, even Sushil was not aware about it. Fine, so there are so many things that could have been done. Fine, and if Shanti would not have got any of the lawyer even from the state, then what would have happened? So the things are, Shanti, why it is a fair trial? Because Shanti has been provided with all what others also get. Fine, what the law says, they have gone according to that. Fine. So this is because for a trial to be fair, several different procedures they have to observe. Article 21 of the Constitution, what it says, Article 21, it says right to life, which means that the person's life or liberty can be taken away only by following a reasonable and a legal procedure. It's their life. Fine. So Article 21 of the Constitution says this. Everyone has to go through a proper procedure. Now see, Shanti was given the charge sheet. Evidences were presented, whatever was against her or whatever. Fine. Then it was seen as a crime. Fine. The trial was held in a open court in front of the public. Her brother Sushil also attended the court's hearing. Then the trial was in the presence of accused, means Shanti was present there, and she was defended by a lawyer. Fine. Shanti's lawyer, Advocate Roy, was also given the opportunity to cross-examine the witnesses. Fine. And Advocate Roy was given an opportunity to present witnesses in Shanti's defense. So why all this happened? Fine. So this all happened because this was a legal procedure which has to be followed. Although the police filed a case of theft against Shanti, but still the judge, he cannot assume him as innocent because she was poor and all. Prosecution provided reasonable doubts about that Shanti was guilty, but somewhere in case prosecution failed to do so. Fine. And it can also be there, and the judge decided everything on the basis of the evidences which were presented in the court. The judge cannot straight away come to the conclusion that okay, Shanti is a very poor lady, so I am just going to give the judgment in favor of her. No, Judge cannot do so. He has to be impartial, I am repeating. He cannot favor anyone, nor he can favor Shanti and nor he can favor Mr. and Mrs. Shinde. So that's the reason why this case was known as a fair trial, because the judge has given the judgment according to the evidences provided to him. And this, the constitution also says the same thing, children. The constitution and the law, both, what did they say? They state that all the persons that we have discussed in this chapter should carry out their roles in a proper manner. They are, doing their role in a proper manner. Fine. And they ensured that every citizen, irrespective of their caste, their creed, their gender, religious ideology, they all go through a fair trial if they are accused. What does the rule of law says? It says that everyone is equal before the law, and would not make much sense if every citizen were not guaranteed a fair trial. So we cannot say that everybody is equal if everybody is not given a fair trial. So according to the constitution, everyone should get a fair trial. And this was all about the chapter. Thank you and have a nice day. The chapter is over, children. Bye bye.